Back with more asymmetry. That's what I want to say. I think, yeah, we're on the trial for the murder of that guy, the actor guy. Did a little bit of investigation. So we'll see how this goes. Okay. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Powers. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. Your opening statement, please. The prosecution will show the court that at 2:30 p.m. on October 15th, the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, killed fellow actor Jack Hammer in Studio 1 of Global Studios. It's impossible for anyone else to have committed this heinous crime. The evidence presented during the trial will all point to this fact. I see. Very well. I would like to move on to some testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution may call its first witness. Very well. I call a most familiar face, Detective Gumshoe, to the stand. Detective, you would briefly describe this case to the court. Yes, sir. I'll explain with the guide map here. To understand this case, it's important to grasp the layout of the studio, see? This here is the employee area. The actors did a run-through of their action scenes during the morning here. This is the main gate to the studios. The security lady that works at the studios was here at 1 p.m. on that day. Past the security station, there is a gate, see? Past that, there are studios. And here it is, Studio 1. This is the scene of the murder where the body was found. Now, on the day of the murder, October 15th, there were only 3 people here. The victim, Jack Hammer, the defendant, Will Powers, and a young woman, the production assistant. All the production staff were in the employee area until noon. Then after lunch, the victim, Jack Hammer, went to Studio 1. Right after that, at 1 p.m., the security lady got to the guard station. Then jump ahead to that day, to later that day, 5 p.m. Production staff came to Studio 1 to perform a rehearsal. Needless to say, the rehearsal was cancelled. Time of death was 2:30 p.m. The samurai spear found lodged in the victim's chest was the murder weapon. That's the case in brief. Anyone like to hear that again? Should I listen to that whole thing again? I think we listened to it. I think I can probably remember that. I think I can too. Hopefully. So the murder weapon was a spear. How medieval. Your Honor, this case is quite simple if you ask one question. And that question is, what did the security lady at the guard station see? Understood? Let's call the security officer to the stand. Will the witness declare her name? My Archie, a handsome fellow. I'm afraid I'm a bit flustered. Your name, please. Oh dear, no need for you to be embarrassed. Just call me Grandma. Your name, please. Edgeworth seems Edgeworth has a bit of trouble getting his witness to say their names. One in the old bag, dearie. So just call. Oh, it's going again. Objection. I object to the witness' talkativeness. Objections abstained. The witness will refrain from rambling on the stand. I was just getting to the good part, dearie. Perhaps we can get to the testimony. Now, the witness was stationed at the main gate on the day of the murder, correct? Yes, see, I was. Oh. I didn't mean to click that. I was confused for a second. And to get to the murder of the scene... To get to the scene of the murder, someone would have to pass you by. You know your stuff, dearie. You may begin your testimony. I'm sure she's one hell of an old bag. On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 p.m. Poor old Hammer and the rest have been doing a run-through there since the morning. I had some errands to run that morning. Anyway, it was 1 p.m. when I got to the guard station. I was at the main gate from then until 5 p.m. Now the murder happened at 2:30 p.m., right? Interesting to me because a certain man walked right by me at 2 p.m. It was Powers, a man right there, and he was heading toward the studio. You saw the defendant then, hmm? Very well. Let's begin the cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Let me look at my evidence. I guess we could present the photo? Oh no! I didn't even do that. So up until that time, anyone who wanted to go into that studio. Well, there wasn't a security guard at the gate, no. The main gate was locked, Theory. You need an employee card key to get in. Right, the card key that I have. What she's saying is, who was it supposed to be there could get in? Was there anyone at the studios when you arrived at the guard station? Okay. Surveillance. Let me press this first. I don't know if I should do this one or the other one. 2. You're sure? Sure as a split. Well, who was the man? Really, you should try not to get so excited at your age. You might strain something. No. Now, don't get your skeevies all in a bunch. I'll tell you who it was. I think I can... Okay, I think I presented here. Oh, no, wait. Oh, X. Forgot. Let me get this straight, old bag. Or Miss Old Bag. You've been saying since yesterday that you saw Mr. Powers, correct? But you're talking about the man in this photo, aren't you? Just a moment, Mr. Wright. Let me see that photo. What is this exactly? None other than the Steel Samurai, defender of Neo Old Tokyo. Miss Old Bag. Is this the Mr. Powers that you saw? Of course! Didn't your mama teach you any sense, Sonny? Anyone could plainly see that's Powers, right? No, they can't. Well, I mean, I wonder. True, Mr. Powers does play the role of the Steel Samurai. But that doesn't mean Mr. Powers is the Steel Samurai. I know that. I wasn't born yesterday. No one in this court is accusing you of that, Mr. Witness. Is he having trouble He's having trouble calling her old bag, apparently. However, you do not have proof that the person in this photo is Mr. Will Powers, do you? Nosy old man. Of course I have proof. What? Huh? Even Edgeworth is surprised. The Prosecution would like to ask the witness. Please make known all the information in your possession ahead of time. How was I supposed to know everyone would be so nosy? You should be ashamed, all of you. Anyway, I showed that photo to the young detective. He told me this isn't any good as evidence, pal. He didn't even give it a second look. Wow, old Windbag has left even Edgeworth speechless. She's good. Let's hear about your proof, then. I never saw anything. I don't mean mind you. That morning, during the run-through of the action scene, I saw Powers trip and fall. He broke one of the props. It was a big mess. Apparently, he sprained his ankle pretty bad. Now look at that picture. You can see he's dragging his leg, see? Clear as day. That's how I knew it was Powers. Happy? So he had sprained his ankle. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. She's got to be hiding something. I'll press her until she squeals. Okay. Trip and fall. Yes, and to think he's supposed to be the Steel Samurai. What a laugh. So Powers sprained his ankle. I helped it make it better for him, of course. You helped make it better. I kissed it where it hurt. Let's just skip over that part, shall we? Where was the assistant then? Oh, her? She was cleaning the backdrops, I think. She didn't know about Powers' ankle. You may continue your testimony. What's my evidence? Okay. He broke a prop. Sure did. His own samurai spear. His samurai spear? The murder weapon? Luckily I was there with my duct tape to fix it. Strikes me as a significant detail. I better write this down in the court record. Apparently he sprayed his ankle pretty bad. Was Mr. Powers' ankle badly sprained? Not so bad that he couldn't walk around. He went to his dressing room to rest up after lunch. Thus the nap. Anyway, I saw him dragging his foot when he walked. Dragging his foot. Okay. I think we've heard enough. Haven't we, Your Honor? Well, there is one thing that bothers me. Which is? Where is the Steel Samurai costume now? Actually, well, we couldn't find it. We're looking, though. Anyhow, that's not important. The witness did see the Steel Samurai, yes. And it's clear that the person in the Steel Samurai suit was Mr. Will Powers. I suppose that's right. Sure? Are you sure you're sure, Your Honor? I'm gonna object. Hold it right there. We keep talking possibilities, but we have to agree that the photo shows the Steel Samurai. Nowhere in this photo can we see Mr. Will Powers. The defense has a point. I also wonder if someone else not caught on camera could have killed Mr. Hammer. We have to consider that possibility also. Then allow me to remove that doubt from your mind, Your Honor. Will the witness continue her testimony, please? No need to ask twice. Okay. Okay. The time of poor Hammer's death was 2:30 p.m., true? The only person I saw go into the studios before was Will Powers. No one else went there. If they had, I would have seen them. So if no one else went to the studio, then it would have to be this steel samurai who did it. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Okay. Are you absolutely sure? Oh, quite, Sonny. Nobody suspicious looking passed by at all. Nobody suspicious looking, right. What about before you got to the guard station? You meant before 1 p.m. Why, everyone was in the employee area before them. And I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Not to mention... This is photo 2. I feel like I should present this. Hold on. Look at this photograph one more time. This photo was taken by the camera at the gate for the studios, correct? Yes, sirree, Sonny. So whenever anyone passes by here, it automatically takes a picture. And here I thought you didn't know your head from a hole in the ground. Right. Anyway. It's also true that the computer in the guard station records all security cam data.
Excuse me.
Oh, you know, if you wanted to work at the studio, we might have an opening. I have very computer printed out this photo. Note that on the back of the photo, I printed the words October 15th, 2 p.m., photo number 2. Even I know it, that it means it was taken at 2 p.m. on October 15th. Really, Sonny? Actually, I knew that too. The issue here is a bit at the end where it says photo number 2. Photo number 2? The computer only held data for 1 photo on that day. Don't you think that's odd? Shouldn't this photo be photo number 1 if it really was the only photo? Order, order? Please tell the court what you mean by this, Mr. Wright. Actually, that's what I wanted to ask the witness. This evidence shows that not 1, but 2 people went to the studio that day. Yet, there is only data for 1 of those photos. Who could have erased the data for the other photo? Only someone with access. The security lady herself. Eh? Oh. You watch your mouth, Mr. Whippersnapper. The only person I saw that day was Will Powers. The camera on the gate fired twice. That means 2 people went by. Well, yes. That's what it would seem to mean. And the witness explained this to the court. I don't understand these newfangled computer things. Edgy boy, help! Huh? Believe me, I want to know, but I don't know what this means either. Huh. Some help you are. You're a whippersnapper too. Whippersnapper? Something's the matter, Miss Oldbag? Ah, that's right. I just remembered something. Let me guess. Someone else passed by the gate. Someone other than the Samurai Steel. Oh, the Steel Samurai. I said that backwards. Well, yes. I suppose you could put it that way. I see. Your testimony, please? Okay. Every day after I finish my guard duties, I have one other important job to do. I go through the photos recorded on the security computer and check them. I throw out any photos that aren't suspicious looking, you see? Come to think of it, now I remember throwing out 1 photo that day. Miss Oldbag, this is the first I've heard of this. Well, of course, Sonny. I've only just remembered it. Right. Anyway, Mr. Wright, please begin the cross-examination. Well, I say this is a turn. This is a turn for the unexpected. But I kind of expected this. Okay. I guess I should press this. How many photos are there, usually? On the day when we open to the public, we get more than 500 people. When on filming days or rehearsals days, well, we don't have that much money. We never get more than 50, and that's a big day. You back up all the security camera data. Well, they keep telling me to, yes, but those computers are just so frustrating. How exactly do you determine that what isn't suspicious looking? We can tell by looking at their faces, for the most part. For the most part? This is a murder trial, Miss Oldbag. Well, I didn't touch that suspicious looking male Powers photo, did I? I think she's missing the point. Well, who in the heck was in the photo you erased? A fanboy. Fanboy? Steel Samurai fanboys, real freaks if you ask me. They get information about the rehearsals from gosh knows where. They're always hanging about. Once, one was there that day. Wait a second. Didn't you say no one else could get in? I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Those were your words. Well, you must know there's a drain that goes into the employee area. The grate has been loosened for a while. It leads outside and, well, that's where they come in. They come in through the drain? I told you they're freaks. Oh, and? They're kids. Children. Whippersnappers. Kids? So, on the photo that you erased, it was a boy, probably 2nd or 3rd grade. What? Order. Let me get this straight. You saw 2 people pass by the gate on their way to the studios that day. One was the Steel Samurai, dragging his leg. The other was a boy, who looked to be on the 2nd or 3rd grade. Oh yes, well, we see his type there every day. Can't stop him, can't catch him. A boy in the 2nd or 3rd grade, Assume it would be hard, if not possible, for a young boy to wield the samurai spear. Impossible, I think. It's quite heavy. Right. As I said, I didn't pay much mind. That's why I erased the data. Nick, what's going on? I mean, the boy was there. That makes him as a suspect. Yeah, and they're already trying to unsuspect him. This court will take a 5-minute recess. I want the defense and the prosecution to consider this new information. And no forgetting vital information this time. Mr. Powers? Yes. Tell me straight. Were you really in your dressing room? You didn't go to the studio. I didn't go to the studio. I was sleeping. Honest. So who was the Steel Samurai in that security photo? How should I know? The Steel Samurai costume was off in the corner of the dressing room. Anyone could have walked in and taken it really. What? You should take better care of that stuff. I couldn't imagine anyone would want to steal a Steel Samurai costume. So, where does this leave me? Doesn't look good. You're the only one. You're the only likely suspect right now. Nick, what are we going to do? First, we play for more time. Oh my god. We'll start targeting someone else that could have conceivably have done this. Right. And it'll take them so long to shoot us down that we can get another day. Right, but if we pick the wrong person, we might lose on the spot. You don't sound very optimistic. I'm not optimistic at all, actually. Hey, Nick, it's time. Okay, let's go. What does that mean? Please don't die like that. Okay. The courts will now reconvene for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. Mr. Edgeworth, we present the prosecution's thoughts on this matter. The prosecution thoughts are simple. Nothing has changed. The other person who went to the studios was a boy of roughly 10 years of age. The photo we do have may not be hard evidence, but there is still no one else who could have committed this crime. I call for a verdict of guilty for the defendant, Mr. Will Powers. Very well, Mr. Wright. Your thoughts? The defense disagrees with the prosecution's claim. There is another person who could have committed this crime. Order? Interesting. Let us hear who you have in mind. However, be aware that this court does not look kindly on accusing the innocent. If you accuse someone who is obviously innocent, you will be penalized. Right, great. As if the stakes weren't high enough. So who was this person other than Mr. Powers who could have committed the murder? Oh. The assistant? It was the assistant. Oh, I think that's wrong. The Steel Samurai costume was in his dressing room. She stole it, and in doing so, she became the Steel Samurai. You're saying the Steel Samurai in this picture is really the assistant. That's correct, Your Honor. Oh, I think I'm right. If you're serious, you've got guts, Mr. Wright. Remember the photo. So the Steel Samurai a little lame? He was dragging his foot. Oh, uh-oh. Bad feeling time. Remember that testimony concerning Powers' injury. Oh my god. We're at the rough through. Oh, hey. Oh, what about the assistant? Oh, that was a flashback. Oh, her. She was cleaning up backdrops, I think. She didn't know about Powers' ankle. Didn't know nothing of Mr. Powers' injury. She could look the Steel Samurai look with the costume. She couldn't walk the Steel Samurai walk. She wouldn't have limped. That kind of takes the legs out from under that case. Mr. Wright, afraid I have to penalize you as I warned. Damn it! Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. May we move on, Mr. Wright? This fight isn't over yet. If you would, Your Honor, one more chance, please. Very well, go on ahead. Okay. I don't see how the... The grade schoolboy? This is such a weird list. Oh! The music stopped, so I guess I was right. It was the grade schoolboy. Why isn't anyone saying anything? Are you seriously suggesting the boy did it, Mr. Wright? Grade school boy kills veteran action star with a spear? For one thing, the murder weapon was with the Steel Samurai. Did you care to explain just how the boy would have obtained it from him? Maybe that was a dumb move on my part. Maybe. Maybe. How about absolutely, Nick? Mr. Wright, I'm afraid I have to penalize you as I warned. What? That was still wrong? Oh my god. This fight isn't over yet. Oh my god. I guess the security lady. Why did it make the music stop? It made me feel like I was right. It was security lady, Wendy Oldbag. Who? The steel samurai is dragging his leg in this picture. That means whoever was in the suit knew about that morning's injury. Maybe because they had been watching the action scene run through. There's only one person other than Powers and Hammer who knew about the injury. Security lady Oldbag. What? Whippersnapper? Order, order? Is this true, Oldbag? Oldbag? That's Miss Oldbag to you. Miss Oldbag was standing guard alone at the main gate. She was by herself, in other words, she had no alibi. She could have briefly left her post to steal a samurai costume, then slipped into Studio 1, the scene of the murder. Why would she go through the trouble of wearing the steel samurai costume? Simple, Your Honor. She knew the camera at the gate would take her picture. She was in his costume. She could point the finger at Mr. Powers. I see. Excellent deductive reasoning, Mr. Wright. Oh yeah, right here. Sherlock Holmes 2, baby. That's odd. Isn't this the part where Edgeworth pounces? Does he usually jump up with an ejection or some new damning evidence? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, does the prosecution have an opinion on this matter? The prosecution has no meaningful objections at this time. What? What's that supposed to mean? Oh, so you all think I didn't, is that it? Edgy boy, don't just sit there, do something. What's my move? Maybe now's my chance to take this whole way? Press further. The very same reasoning that makes Mr. Powers a suspect in this case can be used to cast doubt on Miss Oldbag's actions on that day. But why would I do something so horrible to poor Hammer? You forget that Mr. Powers likes a clear motive too. Indeed. That did it. Now Windbag is one of the suspects. No hard feelings, I hope. Wait a minute! What about the other person who went into the studio? The boy! The one whose photo I erased. He's only a grade schooler though. As you said, the second or third grade was it? That doesn't matter. When I was that age, I could pin my old man in 10 seconds tops. Your thoughts, Mr. Wright? That boy is not the killer. What? How can you be so sure? Or is it be nice to the kids and mean to your elders day, whippersnapper? I have proof. Proof? Indeed? Then let's see this proof, Mr. Wright. You have proof that shows the boy could not have committed this murder. Oh, the card key? Or the fact that this was broken. Where was that open vent? Can I look at this? I think it was by that. So I think the card key? Okay. The scene of the murder was the scene of the murder, as we all know, was Studio 1. However, you need a card key to enter Studio 1. How could a boy with no formal relation to the studios have a card key? I see. Well, would the witness care to comment on this? The Windbag, speechless. This has to be a first. Very well. This court will suspend proceedings at the current trial for today. Mr. Edgeworth, please find out more about your witness, Miss Wendy. What was her name? Something Oldbag, Your Honor. And the prosecution will look further into this Oldbag before we continue. That is all. This court is adjourned. Wait a second! I'm not going to just sit here while you run off barking up the wrong tree, me. I'm Oh great, stop the presses. The windbag wants to talk. This old bag, what is this all about? Have you omitted something from your testimony? Actually, if you must know, there's something I was told not to talk about. Not to talk about? By whom? Huh? You mean it wasn't Edgeworth who told her not to talk? Well, testify. Glow Studios wanted me to keep quiet. Wanted me to keep quiet about something. There were some other people at the studios on the day of the murder. They said they had nothing to do with it, see? They told me to just pretend they hadn't been at the studios that day. But if you're going to go accusing me, I'm not letting them get away scot-free. Miss Oldbag, this is crucial information. Why did you keep this from the court until now? Hey, you've been listening. They told me to shut my trap, and I always do what I'm told. Oh, this isn't a bad dream, Your Honor. Witness the power of the old bag. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. Wanting me to keep quiet about something. So you were told not to talk. That's right, by the studios and the TV bigwigs, no less. Why didn't I hear about this? Don't be too hard on yourself, Sonny. We're all in on it. There were some other people at the studios on the day of the murder. Who were these people? Well, the director and the producer for starters. The director? We should have known something was fishy. How could they have done a run-through of their actions without a director? Of course. Yes, well, I was surprised that no one asked about it. So where were these people? The director was in the employee area all morning for the run-through. He joined the producer around lunchtime and they had a meeting after that. Where? Oh, in the Studio 2 trailer. Studio 2? There's a Studio 2? Well, if you look at the guide map, here it is. You go through the gates and all the way to the left. The path where the monkey's head was fallen over. Well, Mr. A, would you like to continue the cross-examination? I think I've already asked all my questions, but... let's continue. So they had nothing to do with it, see? Miss Oldbag, this is a trial for murder. I know that's silly. Still, they were pretty convincing about having nothing to do with it. And they gave me a little bonus on the side. So you got your bonus, you still talked. I think I've asked all the questions I have to ask. Did I? There's no harm in getting as much info as I can. Oh wait, that was everything. Let's ask about this one, and I guess we'll be good. So they were actually in the studio. Yes, the all day. When they heard about the murder, they beat it before the cops came. I'll kill this woman, I swear it. I feel sorry for Edgeworth. For Edgeworth, almost. She's really left him hanging on this one. Nick, I guess pressing her was the right thing to do. For an old windbag, she sure likes keeping secrets. Let's get as much information as we can. Okay. I guess we'll press the last thing. Them. Who were these people? Actor and the producer for starters. Oh, this is the same. Wait. Yeah. My goodness. Well, Mr. Wright? Okay, no. I think that's good. Your Honor, we have learned there are others at Global Studios on the day in question. The director and the producer and some bigwigs were all present. Yet, as we stand here, they have not been questioned. I hold that it is impossible to declare a verdict on the defendant, Mr. Powers. The court acknowledges the defense's point. The prosecution will gather more information about the witness, Miss Oldbag. More information about these other people we have just been told of. I understand, Your Honor. This ends the day's proceedings in the trial of Mr. Will Powers. That is all. The court is adjourned. Thank you so much, Mr. Wright. I was right to ask you to defend me. Aw, really, it's nothing. Or should I say... We'll be going down to the studios to do some more investigating. We have to find out more about this director and producer. They'll be turning up in the next trial as witness for certain. So now's my chance to get material for the cross-examination. So Nick, have you figured out just who it was in the Steel Samurai costume? Could it really have been Old Windbag? What do you think? What do you think, Mr. Powers? I don't think it was her, really. Neither do I, Nick. Yeah, I know. Look, I was just buying time back there. Someone had to be the bad guy for a bit to take the pressure off Mr. Powers. Poor old Windbag. I feel kind of sorry for her. Well, she wasn't winning any points in there, with or without my accusation. Okay, let's get down to the studios. Right. We'll be back soon. We'll be back to visit you soon. Thanks. Thanks, guys. That was a mess. All right.